Well, hello and welcome to Knife Delights. It's time for another Two for Tuesday. That's an easy open tag that all channels can participate in. It's very easy. Just grab a couple of knives and start talking about them. Well, on the table today, I have a couple of Imperial Diamond Edge Stockmans. And both of these were bought in antique stores. Actually, I think both of these, one here on a trip about 2 months ago. I met up with Jerry at an antique store and found that. I guess this other one, I'm sorry, was at a flea market here where I was with Jerry just a couple weeks ago. So there's some distinct differences in both of these knives though. So Diamond Edge is a brand name that was acquired by Imperial. The name was originally used or owned by Shapley Hardware, but at some point Imperial bought that name, and the logo is quite simple there. It's usually that diamond shape there with a DE for Diamond Edge with an arrow going through it. Now, in looking these two knives over, we can tell that they are from different time periods. I'm going to have to look up the tang stamps. But on this blade here, it says Diamond Edge 353. And on this one, it is 860. So they both have some blade etching on them. Here's this tang stamp here. I think this is a newer knife. By the way, it has the USA going up and down there vertically. And then we look at this tang stamp here. It says Stainless Imperial Providence, Rhode Island, USA. So two different tang stamps, two different manners of manufacturing. As we can see here, they both have kind of a long nail pull on them, but this one has like the match strike pull on it. There's a difference in the shape of the blades, of the clip point. And actually, this one here has a swedge on it. This one does not. And as you can see, the one on the right is a much heftier blade. It's a heftier knife overall. We look at the covers here. We can see on this one, this is a more inexpensive knife because it's got the shell covers on it. And this kind of a cover material. Kind of like a laminated paper type. And on this one, we've got the actual jig Delrin. And they are not, these are actually pinned. So it's not a shell cover on this one. So this one is a much heftier knife right here. Just shows two companies, or same company, two different time periods, how the knives were built differently. So we'll look at the sheep's foot. See the difference in the sheep's foot there? Again, much thicker blade stock on this one. And then we'll look at our spay, see what differences we have here. Get both the spay blades out. It's hard to compare because this knife has been used a lot more. The blade's been used some on it. That's what they look like there. Now on this one here, see that's got two springs. Look at the back side there. And that one has two springs. But once again, look at the difference in the width of these springs. Now on this one here, we've got a little bit of rust going on it. Got some there on that sheep's foot. We look down in there, we got some rust and some stuff down in there. Matter of fact, let's just try to scrape some of that out right now if we can, while we're talking. Oh yeah. Always check your pocket knives. If you carry them a lot, You're going to get pocket lint in there. Keep that lint cleaned out. If you look down in there, you can see the rust. Now, I don't have time to do a full refurbishing video on both of these knives. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get started. This one's rusty. This one is not. I don't see any rust on this one. Look down in there. Looks pretty clean. So this knife is clean. It probably needs to get oiled. Get a little better walk and talk back to it. But what I want to do for now is I just want to neutralize the rust in this one. So I'm going to let it soak here for a while and get that going. And I'll be back. Well, I've let this soak in the evapo-rust for about an hour. I didn't want to leave it in any longer. If you leave it in too long, it will darken the blades, darken the steel, and which can be removed, but since this has a blade edge on it, I didn't want to have to try to remove that and then in the process remove the blade edge. So just wipe it off here, rinse it off in water, and we'll see here like this little spot here. See what happens. See, a lot of that's rubbing off there, that rust. A lot of that rubbed off. And what I'm kind of trying to do now is not so much do the restoration on the knife. It's more of a preservation step to try to get it cleaned out enough and that rust neutralized, so I can put the knife up and set it aside, and then at a later date I can get it finished cleaned up. So you can see, got a lot of that rust out of there. Get a little bit off here. So yeah, so cleaning that stuff right out. Now, I haven't gotten rid of all the rust down in there, but I've gotten rid of a lot of it. Actually, I think I'll touch it up with just a little bit of sandpaper before I throw it into the mineral oil. Just throw a little sandpaper down in there. Scrape sand. We'll loosen that stuff up. Hope to remove it, because I am going to want to clean this knife up a little more and get the blades sharpened on it. But as you know, as of right now, I've got several projects I'm working on, and I don't have the time to do the full restoration on this one. But hopefully get it cleaned out enough that it'll stop rusting, no further deterioration to it. I'll put it up kind of wet with the mineral oil on it. There you go. See, we're getting it out of there. Yeah. Got a lot of stuff out just doing that. So, I mean, we've got fairly decent walk and talk on this one. You can see there, these are going to have to be cleaned off, the back springs there. On this one, it's got decent walk and talk, but I think a little oil will help this one out. So, I'm just going to throw both of these in the mineral oil for just a little bit, especially that one, to get rid of any water or anything that might have been in it, moisture. Let's just let them soak for just a little bit, and then we'll check them. I gave both of these knives just a quick soaking in the mineral oil. I have this one wiped off. We can see the walk and talk is improved on this one. It's still wet. That's okay. And let's just check this out here. So we've got a little bit of stuff out of there. Wow, that one just, that one's weak still. That one's still got a little bit of a weak snap. But again, we're not doing a full restoration right now. We're just trying to get it preserved. This is the messy part. Get rid of all this oil. But it looks clean there. Pull this sheep's foot out. See how that rust just kind of wiped off? Remember that big blotch of rust right there? Kind of gotten rid of it. Just a tiny amount left there. Yep, it's gotten rid of most of that. Look down in there. Looks a lot better down in there, doesn't it? Let's just see what happened with the mineral oil soak. Get the excessive oil out of there. And as you can see, just about all the rust is out of there. Looking pretty shiny. There's a little bit right down in here yet. See if some of that will come out. Yep, still a tiny amount. But what we've done is we've gotten rid of most of the rust. We've got it oiled up. And I can set it aside now until I have the chance to, do a full restoration on it. That's got good snap there. Decent, decent. So, here we go. 2 knives that can be set aside. I keep them in. I can put them in a little plastic bag until I have the chance to fully restore them. Yep, got rid of a lot of that rust there, right there. And to restore snap, we can just keep doing this. Just keep manipulating the blades, open and close. Because there's still some stuff on these back springs. Didn't quite come off. But I just wanted to demonstrate just real quick how you can help preserve your knife until you have a chance to really work on it, or you're waiting for some other supplies. I get backed up here. I got several knives I need to get restored, and each one takes time. So when I go to restore these, I've got the basic work done to them already, and it's nice and simple. If nothing else, clean the pocket lint out, soak them in warm water with some like Dawn dishwashing liquid, and try to sand out those channels down in there a little bit to get rid of the rust, and then throw it in some mineral oil. Yeah, that helps preserve it. It's easy to do, it's cheap, until maybe you're looking to get a Dremel tool and all of that, and you don't have that all bought yet. This is just a very cheap and easy way to get them so you can store them until you have a chance to work on them. Well, I sure hope you enjoyed this video. I sure enjoy showing my knives. I sure love 2 for Tuesdays. So until next time, have a very delightful day.